Welcome to the Stab Comedy Theater. It's time for the book report. Please welcome already on stage your hosts, Dana and Jesse.
Thank you for coming to the book report, everyone. How you guys doing? Oh wait, I wanted to stand up. Where are you from? No, just kidding. How are you, Dana?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent. We just bantered on Thursday.
Right.
Dana and I never hang out in between shows, but we broke that rule and we hung out the other night. We went and watched Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Want to give a review of Thanksgiving?
Oh my God! If you like horror films, it's a horror slasher film. If you enjoy them, go see it. It's very solidly done. You can tell they understand the structure of a slasher film, and it's like they tried enough but not too hard, and it was thoroughly enjoyable.
Yeah, and under 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is that's one of my top tier criteria for a movie these days. Is it? Oh, it's under 2 hours. Okay, I'll go. Yeah, I'm down. Are you gonna watch anything else on Thanksgiving?
I want to go see the new Hunger Games prequel movie because I read the book and I liked that book a lot. I was a little worried because sometimes prequels can be a little dicey, especially if it's just a cash grab. But the author told a really interesting story in taking a look at Coriolanus Snow as a teenager. So it's okay, this adds some interesting depth and explanation.
All the Hunger Game fans I know are really excited about going to see this. Yeah. What about, it was on the tip of my tongue right now, and I forgot what I was going to say. I don't know, are you off this week?
Yes, I have the whole week off.
You got the whole week off?
Well, I took the whole week off,
okay.
So.
All right. So my week so I have Thursday, Friday off, right, just as part of the holiday, but my team lead is taking Tuesday and Wednesday off. Which pretty much means I don't have to, I just kind of got to show up and move my mouse so that I don't go from green to yellow. Does anybody else work from home? So that it just shows that I'm active, and it'll pretty much it's going to be 4 days off.
Because we get Thursday and Friday off as a holiday, but then it's strongly encouraged to take the other 3 days off if we don't need to work. And I was like, well, I don't need to work.
Yeah, who needs to work?
Yeah. So I was like, it's a slow period for me. I'm fine.
Are you traveling at all?
No.
Yeah, I don't want to travel.
No, I don't either. I just want to sit at home and play video games and read and do laundry, I guess.
You work from home too, right?
I do.
Yeah, I have a strict. I only do laundry during work days. Meaning, you will not catch me doing laundry on. I think that's a good thing.
I have a strict rule of I only do laundry when I remember that I need to do laundry, because if I don't do it then I'll forget a very long time, and then suddenly I don't have pants.
Are you okay? So you're one of those people that if you're wearing a really cute outfit, you're like, oh,
yeah,
you're dipping into the cute outfits because everything's dirty.
I've worn dresses 4 days in a row because I'm like, I don't have clean jeans right now, and I could wash them, or I could wear dresses all weekend, and so I went that option.
Okay, all right. I remember what I was going to have. So what are you reading?
I right now am reading, what's the word? An annotated version of Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. So on the left side of the page is the book, and then on the right side of the page they have the little notes, and it tells you all about explaining things that happen. So every 5 or 6 sentences I gotta stop, and then I gotta read what the little note means. And sometimes it'll tell me interesting things, and sometimes it'll be like, oh, I already know what that means. I've read Jane Austen. But
okay, when you first said annotated, my brain heard abridged. So I was like, oh, you're reading a shorter version, but it's actually a longer version.
Yes, it's twice the size, because only half of the. But sometimes there's pictures on the right side.
Are the annotations ever bigger than the actual
paragraph?
Oh yeah,
it'll be a short sentence, and it'll be here's a big history about naval battles in England in 1812, and I'll be like, okay.
Are annotated books a thing that you enjoy, or is it that you enjoy Jane Austen that much that you want more? You want to go down the rabbit hole?
Well, this book was actually a gift from one of my very good friends, Janae, and she gave it to me for her birthday 2 or 3 years ago. And I've always wanted to read, because I've only read Mansfield Park once. I've read probably most of the other Jane Austen books multiple times, but I don't Fanny Price is kind of like as a main character.
Tell me how you really feel
She's boring. Like she's boring, and the guy that she's into is boring, and
Their dog is boring.
and the drama that goes on behind them is like great, and it's all sorts of sassy drama. But it's sort of like I don't really relate to you. I don't really care if you get to fall in love with your first cousin. Like I don't care. Like, it was okay back then.
Yeah, it was perfectly fine.
Actually, it wasn't okay because she was poor and her aunt and uncle were really rich, and they didn't want him to marry his poor cousin.
Oh,
Not
no.
because she was a cousin, but because she
Because
was
it's poor, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get those standards, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Not a paper, like not a physical book, but an audio book. I'm almost done with the Britney Spears memoir.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. She's just a sweet girl who likes to dance. That poor girl. She's really a sweetheart. Like, I love Britney. So she just loved to dance, man. Because like even like when she's like talking about like when she cut her first record and like how like the label found her, or like she found the label, they brought her in and they were cutting tracks. They were just recording tracks and tracks and tracks. And then like the marketing team came in and they're like, "What else can you do?" And she's like, "I can dance." And then that's like her, yeah. So I'm almost done with that, but I don't think I'll finish it because I already caught myself like twice going. It's only an hour left. No, I don't want to. I don't know, because then I don't know. But and then I think next I want to do Barbra Streisand's. I don't know why. Okay, look, I'm gonna say why. This girl that I think is cute, like posted a picture of it, and I was like, oh, I was gonna read that. Now, like, I better read it just in case I ever like. You know, I think I should. Should we bring up our first guest?
Yeah, let's do
All
that.
right, let's do it. You want to bring them up?
No, you go do it.
Okay.
I'm always so like afraid to do the
mispronounce-
introductions.
I'm
But
afraid
then-
to mispronounce their name.
I'm just afraid to like do it in general because I'm like, what if they don't like what I say?
But they like everything. They're
Okay.
just such a happy person. No,
Okay.
it's still a no.
You can do it. You
I'll
booked them.
respect
I
it.
always
All
feel
right.
like that's the nice thing to do.
Okay, all right. What if Jesse brought? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, our first guest. Please welcome Radine Hobworth. Radine, what's up?
Jesse, hi Dana.
Hello.
You have a physical copy of your book.
I
That's awesome.
yes.
Yay.
Yeah. Are you still an avid reader?
You know, every intent to be. It's more of a spiritual thing than a physical thing at this point. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I
Or-
like that.
Right. Do you are you guilty of buying a ton of books and you never finish them, or you don't even buy them anymore?
It's a little bit more. It's more like, you know how do I say it? You know how there's like premeditated murder where you have intent to murder.
Uh-huh.
I do that with premeditated retail therapy. So I'll go onto Amazon and I literally have 40 books in my cart ready to go. And they just sit there for months. And I look at them and go, one day, one day.
Do you get those reminders from Amazon like, hey, you forgot about?
I didn't know Amazon did that.
Oh,
No.
somebody does it.
No, we're not in so much of a committed relationship. So they're more just like, hi,
Okay.
welcome back. Like, thank you. Yeah.
So you said retail therapy. Do you ever do like therapy and like go into a bookstore and just wander around and get lost?
Not usually. I usually do that with like coffee shops.
Oh,
There's
okay.
something about like losing yourself in a coffee shop where you're reading the same menu. They offer the same things pretty much wherever you go. And I'll just go over and really mull over what options they have available. Yeah.
Do you do that and then still just like order the exact same thing you always
Always.
order
Yeah.
for breakfast?
It's an orange breve latte decaf. That's always where I go.
See, I always feel really bad when I go to like Dutch Bros because they have all these really cool things, and I'm like, I would like a plain mocha, please.
Do you ever go to Dutch Bros and just don't feel like talking to the barista?
Yeah. No, absolutely, because I go to Temple off Fair Oaks, and there's a barista there where when I was like dating on apps, we went on a 3-hour date, and it was wonderful. And then at the end, we're both like, we're good. And then we went our separate ways. But now I see him there, and I have to have a conversation like I care about this guy every single time. He's like, here's your coffee. Oh my God, have you been well? How's school? School's great, thank you.
Do you think in his brain you're going in there to see him?
No, because I always don't make eye contact when I'm in line. And if you've been to the Temple on Fair Oaks, it's nothing but line right there, crevices around. So it's literally until I get to the register, I'm like, Oh my God, it's you! Hi!
I've never been there once, and it's like the worst parking lot in the world.
It's
Next to
terrible.
a Trader Joe's. Like, not that it's
well,
next to a Trader Joe's, but
Right.
it's like,
Oh,
in
okay.
comparison to a Trader Joe's parking lot, it's worse.
Every turn is a bad decision because you can turn right
Sounds
here
like my life.
and it's a one-way. You could turn in here and you could go both ways except both lanes are one-ways. So you have to make a decision on who you want to piss off the most. Then you
Yeah.
have a turn further up, which is really, the trick is they have parking in the back.
What?
But the trick is also, you're not supposed to park back there. But if you're just popping in for a coffee and here to edge your local barista, what's the problem? Easy peasy.
I just love how it's like common knowledge that when you say, "Oh, what's parking?" like Trader Joe's, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah."
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, the Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
And then if you, like, really, like, dig it in, like, the Trader Joe's on Folsom.
Oh, that's the
That is,
The East Sac Trader Joe's is the worst.
I mean, you know Trader Joe's slogan is convenient prices, fuck you parking. Thank you, Trader Joe's.
Oh, man, I get it. What's your book? What's your book about? Are you excited? Okay, how long did it take you to decide on this book?
So I felt a lot of relief when you said I didn't have to read a new book. So I was like, oh, I know exactly. It's going to be a book I've already read.
Yeah.
And it was this one. And it was like, I have to talk about this book because this is the first book I've actually read in a long time. And it really pushed me in the deep end. I really enjoyed it. It was one of those books where I, for the first time ever, Googled how to read, or what books are like this. Mm-hmm. And there's sites for that. It's like, if you like this book, you might like 20 other books.
Oh, nice.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so what led you to find this book? What were you looking for when you found this book?
If I remember correctly, my therapist recommended a different book entirely. And then on Amazon, it was like, you also might want to buy these. And so I bought this one because I really liked the name. And so I bought it.
All right. Take us out of the suspense. What is it?
It's called Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine, and she is so not. This lady is coping so heavily, but it's freaking, it's by Gail Honeyman, and it's such a warm book. It's like enjoying a cup of tea that you know immediately is going to be your favorite. You're like, oh, this is my tea. This is what I want forever. Nice. So it's a really good book. Do I tell you about
Yeah,
it?
tell us
please
about
tell
it.
us about
Okay,
it.
so there's going to be spoilers, so if you don't like that, well, anyways, it starts off with Eleanor Oliphant. She's like just turned 30, and she immediately is like justifying everything she's doing in her life, where she says kind of like her social life isn't the norm, so she'll go to work, she doesn't interact with anybody, she goes home from Friday to Sunday, gets drunk off her ass, and she says, but I like it this way because it's better than the accident. And you spend the whole book, and it's always brought up. It's always like you see the outcome of her life, but she doesn't explain what the initial response is until like the last 3 chapters, because of course that's what the book does. And there's 2 huge plot twists in it. But before we get to that, we kind of get in her life at the end, or the beginning of the end, where she is very much into controlling her life. So she goes to a concert and she hyperfixates on the main singer. And because she is the narrator, she kind of controls the temperature of her narration, but she does things that aren't okay. She goes on his Twitter, stalks his entire Twitter, looks at a photo where like he used to live, goes, oh, I can Google Maps that. So she reverse image searches it, finds out where he lives, breaks into the apartment complex, sits outside of his door where she can hear him singing, and she just sits there for like 3 hours until she falls asleep, then she wakes up and leaves. And she starts to fabricate this entire life with him where she's like, we're gonna get married, and he's gonna make me feel loved, and he's gonna make me feel like I have everything ready to go. While also at the meantime, a new person here at her work is kind of fancying her, but like sees that she's not interested, but she's totally oblivious to it, which is very sweet. Long story short, she ends up trying to commit suicide, and the way it opens up about it is she has a break in her reality where her reality she realizes fantasy, and it comes down to a place where she's describing how that break of that fantasy breaks other fantasies. So part of her schedule once a week is to call her mom, right? And this mom is this person who's like talks such terrible things about her, and she's like, she hates talking to her mom, but she has to have her schedule of talking to her mom. Then we find out actually her mom died years ago, and when we have like full chapters of her talking to her mom, And so it's like, oh, this is an unreliable narrator. But we don't know that till the end. And the big thing that happens that we find out at the end is we always know that she was in a fire. A fire happened when she was very young. And we've also find out soon that her mom does it. But also what she doesn't like that we skirt over the entire book is there was something else in that place, in her house, that burned down. And we're always told it was a dog. And she always has this like fixation on dogs. And then we find out it was actually her little sister.
Oh, jeez.
And we find this out in the last chapter. Like literally you have pages to go and you find out, bam, it was her little sister. She's actually doesn't, and then boom, her mom's also not real. So it's this whole thing where you have to read the book again like, oh my God.
Were you just bawling at that point when you realized it was a little sister, not a dog?
I was bawling.
Or do you not have a heart?
I don't have a heart, thank you. There is a part, and this is the first time, the reason this book is like really important to me is that this is the first time I did little tabs. Like I always felt like you couldn't do that, and I highlighted things, which was very new. But the part that got me,
maybe you could write the abridged version of this book.
I can watch the abridged. Like, hey, spoilers, she's lying. No,
the annotated. No, the annotated.
Annotated.
See, I got it wrong.
Annotated.
I just learned that and I already messed it up.
No, that's
Sorry.
all good. It was true to you, and that's what matters.
Okay.
Yes.
To be fair,
Such a good person.
I have to stop and think of the word really hard before I say it out loud. I'm like, what is the right word?
That's how I feel at coffee shops. Like, what is the thing I always order? Oh, yeah. No, but the thing that started me to highlight this whole thing was this paragraph. This made me bawl my eyes out because this, like, now spoke in my life.
Well, so preface this paragraph. Where are we at in the book when this paragraph happens?
This is after, I think, her suicide attempt.
Okay.
And so her work friend comes over because she hasn't been answering phone calls, and he, like, breaks into her apartment. And he does the thing that, like, he shows up in her life in a place where we've all been, where it's like we want to ask for help, but we know that we're in such a vulnerable place. How can we open up ourselves to that? He doesn't wait for her to ask. He just comes in and he starts helping her. And that really hit me. So she wrote, in the part she wrote, said, "My life, I realized, had gone wrong. Very, very wrong. I wasn't supposed to live like this. No one was supposed to live like this. The problem was that I simply didn't know how to make it right. Mummy's way was wrong, I knew that, but no one had ever shown me the right way to live a life, and although I tried my very best over the years, I simply didn't know how to make things better. I could not solve the puzzle of me." And by that time, I was like in bed, sobbing my face out. I was like, I can't do this by myself right now. So I called my boyfriend, and we talked about Orange is the New Black. I was like, I can't deal with this. But no, it's not a happy go fun book, but it is a sweet book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some stuff that like it wasn't fun, but you needed it, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, and it's also nice though because she doesn't like the author doesn't write her character as a place, and she's like, and I wasted so much of my life. It was like, no, you had to go through that to get to this point. You were never in a place where you could have that realization. But then when like the paint started to kind of like crack and you could peel at it, then she could kind of at her own pace unpeel everything and see for what her life was. Mm-hmm. So I appreciate the honesty of the book. I appreciate the reality groundedness of like healing is you're gonna go through spurts and things are gonna be great and you're gonna be like, things are awesome, and then you're gonna go, oh my God, how did I ever think that was okay? Uh-huh. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that the entire book was my life is totally completely fine. And then at the end of it you're like, actually that was the biggest play that you did for yourself, but you didn't even know.
Wow, that's heavy. How many times have you reread it, or do you go back and read certain passages?
I haven't reread it. I've read it once, and then I immediately threw myself into like other books because I was like, I want to read these other books. But I know when I do read it, knowing what the plot line is, it's gonna other things are gonna stick out of like, oh, that part she did know, but she didn't know, you know, because she was telling her story.
So it takes place in modern times. It sounds like, because she said that she Twitter stalked the guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
where does it take place? New York, LA?
I think it's in London, I feel like.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And how she like kind of says that her mom is real is the reason she can only talk to her mom once a week is because what we understand is her mom's in jail in Ireland because she did something really, really bad, set the house on fire. She wasn't. Oh yeah, her mom did that. That was also. If I didn't say that part.
Did it
So-
say why? Like insurance or like just?
She just wasn't a okay person.
Okay.
And I think she was very paranoid. She said she was, because that's the thing where Eleanor, when she's talking to her mom on the phone, her mom is like giving valid reasons the way her mom would speak. You know, and so she's like, I did that to teach you a lesson, you know. But then Eleanor herself with the last phone call is actually like, you didn't do that to teach us a lesson. You did that because you escaped from the mental institution and then you kidnapped us away. So it was kind of a crazy part.
Wow,
Also.
that's heavy.
Yeah.
When she gets drunk, what's her drink of choice?
That's a good one. She actually is very specific. I think she's a vodka gal. I think she
Okay.
gets it from her local, like, the store that's just below her apartment complex. She gets like 2 liters. She goes upstairs. She makes herself like some fish, and then she just drinks it all night. And then she
wow.
passes out. And then she's like, but then Monday I go back to work. And that's been her life for like 10 years.
Dang.
Wow.
'Cause at least if I'm gonna get hammered on the weekend, I'm gonna be out with people that I know doing activities.
Right. But that's where she paints the picture of everything's totally fine. I like it this way. I want to be in my apartment drinking by myself every single weekend with nothing to do. I like it because I know what to expect. And then you figure out she actually doesn't like it at all. Yeah.
Wow. Would you want to see this made into if this was going to be like produced as a movie? Would you want it to be like? Would you be happier with it as like a blockbuster movie or like a 6-part Netflix series?
Because you could play that like Wednesday almost, you know, where like Wednesday is like you get the big reveal, 6-part. I don't know if you could, if someone is able to do this with decency, yeah, I think it could. I just don't know if the audience perception of it would be great. I feel like it'd be kind of like The Whale, where like you watch it and at the end you're like, I don't like how I feel. I don't like watching this movie.
Okay.
I think this is the same where you're kind of like, damn, I went into this and I'm not okay. You know, where if it's a series, it's kind of like you will get to enjoy the parts where her life is good and her fantasy does suspend her happiness, or at least suspend her denial in her own life. You know, so I think I'll have to go with the second option, that a 6-part series would be the best way, because the audience, if I were to watch it, I don't know if I could really appreciate it without being able to enjoy the good parts too, and I don't know if you can really encapsulate that in a movie.
Right,
know?
right. Yeah, you need time to set it all up and to
Yeah.
explain. Did you when you were reading the book and you were imagining the character, can you see any particular actor, actress in their role?
Well, the best part is they are actually making this into a movie. Which
Oh, come on!
Yes.
Dish.
No, it's very exciting, but they're still under wraps. I think with the SAG protests and everything, they were very much like, you know, holding that back. But hopefully, I think that'll be in the works coming forward. If it is someone, like if whoever they play it, I hope it's not like a big character. Like I feel like the biggest character you could get away with is Emma Watson. That's because Emma Watson has such great range, you know. But if you get someone like that person who played Queen's Gambit, I'd be so disappointed, because like that's not who this character is. This character isn't like, she's not quirky. She's not like, oh, there's something, like she's not a Wednesday. She's not something about her. She is the wallflower on the wallpaper type gal, you know, and like they should get someone to play that. I don't want, you know what, I hate when it's like, it's very similar to when they're like, oh, this 15-year-old in high school and they're like 25. And it's like, get the goddamn person. There's 15-year-olds out there and they want to work. So for them, like, I would hate to see like, all love to her, I'd hate to see like Kendall Jenner play this.
Would you
You
play
know?
them?
Me? I don't know if I could do what this character does.
Okay.
I mean, I'm great at denial. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you so much. No, I feel like it needs to. It's someone like, I'm trying to think. It's usually these tone of stories, they turn it into like, oh, she's quirky, she's fun, she's, you know, there's something about her, she's got that X factor, and it's like, just get a person. Just get a New Yorker off the street. That's what I want, you know?
Yeah, you want an undiscovered talent, like, cause then you could really like believe that they're the wallflower, right?
Right. Like if it's like Dakota Fanning, I'm gonna be like, come on, you know? Because then I'm like, you know the character. They have to spend all this time trying to make you believe that they're not this person. It's like, you're Dakota Fanning.
Yeah, Dakota Johnson, she's pretty bland.
Hey, yeah. Bland. That's what we want.
No offense if she's watching.
No.
No offense, Dakota. None.
Yeah.
All right.
Gosh, I'm just trying to think of what person would play so well.
It's gonna come to you tonight.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be like, Jesse, guess what? You're like, I don't care.
Would you set it in London? Where would you set it? Like,
London. No, I would keep everything that the book as close to the book adaptation as possible, because I'm sure we can all agree, like, book adaptions, they're sometimes hard and they're not correct, which is weird considering you had the entire book in your hand. I don't know why you didn't read it.
I was really mad because the Jane Austen Book Club book, and I've been mentioned this before, takes place in Sacramento.
Ah,
Like you can read it and be like, oh, I know where that is. But then they filmed it in like Southern California, and I was like, you bastards! Like you could have come here and filmed in our city.
that's how I felt about, I forget what it's called. Jesse, you might know it. It's on Hulu. No, it's on HBO. I think it's called Hacks.
I love that show. Hacks,
Okay,
yeah.
so you remember the part where they were like, let's go to a Sacramento comedy club. I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, they're coming to Sacramento. There's this older comic. She's been doing, you've seen it, perfect. So the
Nice.
part where they're
It's a great
like,
show.
have you seen it? Perfect, we're all on the same page. So, they're like, we're going to a Sacramento comedy club. I was like, oh my God, is it stab? Is it punchline? Is it laughs? What is it? They go to fucking ha-has in LA, in Los Angeles. It made me so angry. I was like, why would you say it and then not play it? Basic rule of improv.
Right.
That's how I feel.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
so I would stick as close to the book as possible. That's how I feel.
And with the writer's strike being over, we're finally gonna get season 4 or season 3 of Hacks.
Season 3.
Season 3. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got to see Hannah Einbinder.
Did you go?
I did go. And she was very intriguing because she definitely approached it like an actor. She spent like most of her set had like jazzy like do like a smoky type thing, and like she's doing like spoken word or some sort. And then she talked about how she did competitive cheerleading and she has the kneecaps of a dead person, and so she held the microphone to her knees and bent and went.
Oh.
And she's like, I'm 28. I was like, I get it. You didn't have to do that, but you did, and we all heard it in the sound system.
Jane Curtin's daughter. Her mom was an original Saturday Night Live cast member.
Am I misunderstanding? I heard Jamie Lee Curtis. Is that?
No.
No, I heard the wrong thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. An original.
I was
SNL.
thinking the abridged Curtis. No,
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah, so she's like improv royalty.
Heck yeah. I don't know her, but that's my fault.
No, that's okay.
I'm a bad person.
She was the lady that was on Third Rock from the Sun, right? The like cranky older lady.
She plays a very good cranky older lady. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
All right.
But she was cool, and I enjoyed the show.
Yeah, I love that show, Hacks. It's so good.
It's
So
nice.
good,
It's
yeah.
accurate, which is cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dana, you think you got?
I hope so.
Okay. Do you want to ask her a couple more pro
No,
questions?
I think I don't know. This is like, oh, this is so sad.
No, yeah,
I
that's
feel
that
so
is-
much better about my life right now.
Yeah, I feel so much better about my life and that bottle of vodka under my seat.
Well, I actually stopped drinking at home a lot now because it was
yeah.
like, oh, sometimes
You're an alcoholic recreationally.
Nice. I don't think I have a problem. That's the thing.
Oh, good.
I've got self-control.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
All right, here we go.
Oh, I'm just sleeping outside your door again. Good morning there, sexy rock man.
Yeah, I'm glad we could do this. This is what we do every morning.
I know, and you know, at first you called the cops,
Yeah, I mean,
and then the third time you like had me actually arrested.
right. I was nervous because you had shown up and I thought this was unplanned, but then you showed me your notes. So I was like, well, I have to respect that.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that you were back in town because your album's done being recorded, and you just broke up with that celebrity reality TV star. And,
That wasn't public. How do you know this?
You know, I have ways. The internet is a deep, dark place, but I want to respect your boundaries. I know I'm not allowed inside.
Yeah, I appreciate you
No.
respect it. Are you okay? Because I know I don't pull it out any more blankets for you because this seems like you're used to it now.
I mean, it is on my count. See my schedule. Go midnight.
Wow.
Go to Rocker's house. 6 a.m. wake up and watch you put your boxers back on.
You know what I appreciate is that I have told you my name, but you continue to call me the rocker.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have, the author that I hit up on the weekends because I'm an intellectual as well. You don't know that about me. And I also have the therapist, not my therapist, he's just a therapist whose office I sleep outside of when I'm having a bad day.
That's really good. Yeah, I mean, that's good. Can I get you a cup of coffee or something?
That would be wonderful.
Great.
It's kind of hard to make coffee out here when there's no plug-in for the coffee pot.
Yeah. Well, I just felt at a certain point like I just had to kind of go with it, because I tried my best to get rid of you, but we're still here. And you know what? The attention is nice.
Yeah.
It's not wanted, but it's nice.
Because I've never showed you my boobs, and I know that you are tired of that, like you said in that article that one time.
From 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I forgot about that, but thank you for telling me. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, but the girl you had over last night, nice knockers. Like, I approve.
Oh, you were here early last night. You saw that.
Yeah, well, she snuck out at like 4. I don't know if you knew. I was surprised that she left.
Is that where she went?
Yeah, she was.
I thought she was in the bathroom.
No. Oh, honey. Aw.
Are you hunting me? Okay, well, here's your cup of coffee.
Thank you.
3 sugars.
Oh, just like you remembered.
I try to make my unwelcome guests welcome.
Oh, and scene.
And see.
Radine, thank you so much. Where can we follow you on social media? What you got going on? What's happening in your world?
I am nobody and no one. You stick to yourselves, people.
Yay!
Thank you!
All right, that was awesome.
Yay!
That was a crazy dark book, and I was
Right?
like, where are we gonna go with this?
I'm not.
I was like, I'm so glad I'm not doing improv to this.
It made me like, am I actually not okay? But I'm like, oh no, I go to therapy. I'm okay.
Awesome. Are you ready for our next guest?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so excited for our next guest. Please welcome to the stage, Maddie Smith, everybody.
Woo!
Whoa, hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good.
Maddie, were you sitting there going, what? We didn't have to read a new book?
I thought about talking about some books that I've read, but I honestly don't remember how a lot of them end.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I guess I could talk about them still,
Okay.
but I just might not yield all the information.
What book did you decide on?
Well, I picked this up in Vegas at like a weird little like gift shop where everything was glow in the dark.
Nice.
And they had a little like stand of glow in the dark choose your own adventure books.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh,
So this one is called Tattoo of Death. I
Alright.
thought that would be appropriate because I tattoo.
Are they actual choose your own adventures? Like, because evidently that's a trademark name, and if you use it and you don't belong to their company, they will send you a cease and desist letter.
I had no idea, and it is trademarked. So yes,
Okay,
yeah,
yes.
it's an official
Legit.
one. That's really disappointing because it was terrible.
Well, was it terrible because you didn't choose the good adventures, or was it terrible because...
Okay, well, I suppose I didn't really look closely at the cover well enough. And for people that are watching on streaming, all I saw was like flower, and then this was glow in the dark, and then tattoo of death. So I'm like, cool. So probably like a skull that like comes alive and eats people, or like a hand that does something like ghoulish. I don't know. But nope, it is about you are the person in the book. You get initiated into a new gang in LA called the Red Flowers, and it is so racially charged, and I don't know why.
Oh jeez.
You meet these 2 dudes in your Tai Chi class that you just decided to start going to, and their names are Ben and Spazzle. Asian Americans, Ben and Spazzle. And yeah, they trick you into joining their gang, and then it goes from there. So basically, the first choice you have to make is if you turn them in or not, like if you're going to hide from them, like after your initiation, because you basically dip out. You don't want to be a part of the gang after they tattoo you, this red flower, the tattoo of death. And yeah, you can either hide from them, turn them in, or try to like get your dad to help you, and he like wants to be governor, of course.
Did you ever like read? Did you ever like make a decision and then start reading, and be like, oh, that was horrible, and then like go back and do the other decision?
I always try to go through all of them, but it got to
okay.
a point where it was like, I don't know if I could go through all of them. So I kind of just skipped to all of the end pages to see how you would either die or not, because that's just kind of how these books
You're gonna
go.
die anyway.
Oh, yeah. You either die or you basically, the cops get them. Like, I don't know, which is odd.
Was your like first read through like successful, or did you die?
My first read through was successful. I met this lady, Fran, along the way, who drives a big rig, and she calls in her pals on her radio, and all the big rigs help me escape from the people that are chasing me.
Oh, that's
And then
dope.
the cops get them. Yeah. And then I went back and made a different decision. I totally died.
Is this modern day LA?
Probably. I mean, yes, I would assume so, because also one of the times. Okay, so. If you want your dad to help you, you have to go to Japan and meet this dude called Big Guy. And Big Guy is a robot.
What?
Yeah, he is like drawn really, okay. Again, it's probably hard to see, but it's like this crazy, like almost like kabuki situation mask, but then like, yeah, robot man. So he kills you a couple of times with his robot eye, depending on the choices you make. It's quite a wild ride, honestly.
When I used to read those, I would like write every page number down on a sheet of paper and then cross them out as I read them, and then I would like take notes of like all the decision pages and then go back so that I could read all of the book, because I had to read the whole book.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's like even in like video games where you can like choose different things. I feel like if you replay it, you know try to do the other, even if you know it's gonna like kill you. It's like, well, I want to see what happens.
Are you an avid reader, Maddie, or did?
It kind of comes in like phases. The book that I'm actively reading right now, which means it's like sits on my bed. Sometimes I read through it, like a chapter or two every month or so.
Yeah.
It's called Vatican 1.5, and it's a sci-fi book. And it's about like, you're like a stowaway on a ship, and you meet this journalist that's trying to go to this planet where there's robot popes, and they have this like new version of Catholicism. I don't know.
How long have you been?
There's
reading
romance, apparently. The back of the book promised robot popes and romance and space Catholicism. So I'm like, I'm down.
that? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I'm for Catholicism, but in space.
Yeah. The problem with a lot of sci-fi books that are really cool is the authors tend to end up having like really awful political views that just like seep through very obviously eventually. Which, you know, I'll still probably read the book, but it's like, ooh, like why? I don't know. This book Hyperion, like for some reason there's just a planet full of Jewish people, and it's like, well, that's weird. Why would you mention that? That's why just drop that in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did this book seem to have any ulterior motives? What's this book called again?
Tattoo of Death. I mean, like I said, like I don't know why whoever wrote this decided to write about Tai Chi and people that it seems like they don't really know a lot about. And the illustrations are dubious. like all right. Like I wouldn't call it a racist book, but it's tiptoeing the line of like where are they coming from?
It pulled you in because it was tattoo. So
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Maddie is a tattoo artist. Yeah,
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's been enjoyable. There's I think 15 different endings, so maybe I'll find an ending that actually makes me think and consider tattoos a little bit more seriously. But I really don't think so.
This is just like a normal gang, or they like have some kind of big plan?
It's supposed to be Yakuza, I think, because Yakuza is mentioned a couple of times, but only in a couple of the. And like it depends on how far you get with the mob boss, I guess, how much information you get about the gang. Yeah, because when you go to Japan, you find out that he's a robot, and sometimes it's like they don't find bodies. Like when you disappear from the Yakuza is one of the endings. My favorite ending, if I may.
Yes, please.
So you're waiting and watching these two people talk, and you're like hiding from them. You said you decide to wait and watch. You peer into the dim room as Konda, short for Anaconda, a killer fighting man, as Konda suddenly grabs each boy roughly by the arm and censored due to excessive gruesome violence. The end. Like they didn't even try. They're just like, you decide.
You called that one in.
Yeah. So yeah, it was fun.
They're like, okay, this book has to be this many pages. We need this many endings. And he's like, I got nothing left.
Right.
The tank is empty.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So what about our question? Do you think this would make a great movie, or would you rather it be like a 6-part Netflix series?
So the whole Big Rig situation was pretty fun because you get a drawing of like, I think her name's Pam. Oh no, Fran. Sorry, my bad. Fran, the Big Rig driver, and then the 2 people in their like small car that they're chasing with, and then another Big Rig. And you get the sense that they're getting boxed in, and so it's like a cool car action scene. So maybe that, and then the cops get him at the end. So hero wins at the end, and yeah, maybe it depends on the ending. Probably not the robot eye one. Maybe the robot eye one. I don't know.
They did a Netflix movie recently that was a choose your own adventure, didn't they?
They did. The incredible Kimmy Schmidt had a choose your own adventure
right.
movie, and Daniel Radcliffe was in it randomly. Like his career choices, like beautiful chef's kiss. Like I love the stuff that he does. He's ridiculous. It's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did some of that, but then at some point I was like, okay, I'm done. Like I did not see all the endings because I'm like, this is less fun when I'm clicking a TV remote.
I agree.
Like reading a book.
I think I only tried like a little bit of it, or maybe got halfway through like one. I was like,
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you think, Danny? You want to ask a couple more questions, or do you think you got?
It doesn't like. I think the problem with these books sometimes there's like not a lot of plot or like not a lot of like through plot because it's jumping around.
Yeah, it jumps around a lot. Like I said, I went through a bunch of them, and I was like, okay, well, then I'm just gonna like jump around and see what else there is. And like, yeah, the whole robot thing, that's wild. Like, there's at some point there's like a girl that knows Tai Chi that helps you out, and like a really cool description of like how she's fighting and stuff, but only one story with her in it. So yeah, it was kind of a lot to keep track of, but.
Was she one of your favorite characters in the book?
No, like I said, I found her while skimming, and I was like, ugh, by now. I mean, I've already met Fran, and I think I'm particular to Fran. She seems like a nice lady.
Is that the truck driver?
Yeah, she was a truck driver. Yeah, she calls in her buds.
Yeah, Fran sounds like the hero of this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Part.
Ultimately, like you don't. I mean, you can choose to call the cops on them, and sometimes that works out, but otherwise everything happens to you. Like you're kind of a passive character in all of it, even though you're choosing your own adventure. Isn't that wild?
It's crazy.
Because it meant like to be like you yourself are putting in there, they don't describe you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're just kind of like, I don't know, just like an
I'm
amorphous.
Who's that? Yay, I'm so cute. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You'd think that just after a couple of times of hanging out with 2 people, you wouldn't follow them to like a weird dark alley and let somebody just like tattoo this crazy like
I wouldn't.
flower on you.
Personally.
I wouldn't either, and I've done some questionable tattoo things. So. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you excited to try some improv?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
It's been a minute.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, Rumi, your life has been very sad lately, so I'm going to do a choose your own adventure day.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you want for breakfast, waffles or toast?
Oh man. Let's go toast. Let's go toast.
Oh, good, because if you pick the waffle, you're going to choke to death and die.
That's funny. Like the books.
Yeah.
Like they have like wizards and
Yeah.
like this is awesome. This is gonna be
Right?
so much fun.
It's because I only bought toast, and I was like, well, if I didn't buy waffles, you would have to die.
Oh right, because
Yeah.
then you choke me out. All right.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah.
So
Sick.
how do you like your coffee?
Oh. What are my options?
Well, you could have it with cream and sugar, or you can have a black only coffee with no anything in it.
I'm going to choose the no anything in it.
Are you sure you want to make that choice?
Yeah.
I mean, I bought a
Yeah,
lot
screw
of
it.
cream and sugar that really is starting to go bad that I would really love you to use right now.
Okay, sure. Then
Okay.
fine, cream and sugar.
Oh, good, because if you pick that coffee, it'd have to spill it on you, and then you have to go to the hospital, and then there's a serial killer at the hospital waiting to stab you, and that just doesn't seem like a good day.
I don't really remember the books working like that. But okay, I mean,
Yeah.
awesome. Cream and sugar, thank you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the toast was great.
Yeah, I made it in the toaster because that's how you make toast.
You wouldn't have it any other way.
Right, okay, so now we have another activity that we're gonna do. We're gonna go bowling or mini golf.
Okay. Let me think. Bowling, heavy, mini golf, long stick. Let's do bowling. Mini golf.
I think I did this wrong. I think you might die doing either of them. Let me call someone and see. Okay.
I was like, where are you gonna go with this? That was brilliant.
It was
Maddie,
exciting.
thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome.
I never know where I'm gonna go. I just go
Did
where
you know when you started where you were gonna go? Like,
I
did you-
just knew that you have to die when you make some choices. That's how those work. Well, I don't know. Maybe I only read like the R.L. Stein ones where it was goosebumps. So like you died a lot. So I'm like maybe they're ones where they're all happy choices. I don't know. That's not my thing.
Well, I'm glad Maddie made all the right choices. Because I would hate. Oh, that's our show, folks. Thank you so much to our guests, Maddie and Radine. And thanks for coming out. We're here every third Sunday. There's always lots of great stuff going on here at Stab Comedy Theater. If you're not already following them on Instagram, I hope you follow them. And thank you for coming out. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, Radine.
Yay! Thank you.
Thank you, Jess.
All right, everybody, that is it for the book report and for the broadcast portion of the day. If you want to run down real quick, you can get on the open mic, but you know what? No pressure. But yes, the open mic is not streamed because who would do such a thing? Check out stabcomedytheater.com for our full calendar of events. We're live in person 4 days a week, Thursdays through Sundays, and we stream everything we do 6 nights a week. Let's see, we got some folk left here. Is there anywhere to send you? You know what? Just have a good night. I'll see you back here on Monday, 6 o'clock for Riffest. Have a good night, guys.